Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for deciding to click on today's video. We are doing the most disappointing products of 2020. Products that I was disappointed with, that didn't work out for me, and I'm going to share them with you guys. The worst of the worst that I tried. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Want to start by saying I am going to be doing a best of beauty video, so stay tuned for that. That one will be up where I'll be sharing all of my favorite products from 2020, but I wanted to share in this video some products that disappointed me that I tried this year, products that I wasn't the biggest fan of, but keep in mind that anything that I mentioned in this video could be one of your favorites. It just didn't work out for me. I try so much makeup that I can't possibly like it all. Not everything could possibly work for me, and these are just some products that I tried this year that were disappointing to me. So first off, I'm probably going to start with the one that disappointed me the most, and I've talked about this a bunch, but I hated this palette. It's from Colourpop. It is their Candyland palette. It's called the Candy Castle. This really disappointed me because I was so excited for this collection. Candyland is just such a fun childhood memory, like a childhood game. It came with, the PR package came with a cute little Candyland game, and I was just all pumped about this collection. I do have a full review on this in case you want to watch it, but I was so disappointed with this palette. Not only in that initial video, you could tell my disappointment like throughout the entire video, but I tried this palette out probably like 4 times after that, and I still hated my looks every single time. And this palette was just by far such a disappointment. The actual colors in here are really pretty. Like when you look at the color story, it looks like you could create some gorgeous looks with this, but the problem is these shadows in here are so incredibly chalky and lackluster. Like they look fine here, but I swear to you, on the eyes, these like don't show up. 1, they don't show up, and 2, they don't last. Even the shimmers in here are like really chalky and really just like not there. And having them on my lid, like literally they'd be disappearing after an hour. So it's just not there quality wise, and it just disappoints me because I love Colourpop so much, and I have so many favorites from them that you'll be seeing in my best of beauty video. But this one for me was just such a fail. Okay, the next product I have for you is a foundation, and this is crazy because this is one that I see so many people raving about that they love. But for me, this was just absolutely a disappointment. This is from Urban Decay. It's called their Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation. I find it interesting that it says weightless because to me, this feels like I have so much makeup on my face. I've recently gotten into like more matte foundations, and for me, like this one was just like matte on another level. Like this has the most heaviest like feeling. It literally makes my skin just look like I have on 60 layers of foundation with the smallest amount of this one. Even as I'm sitting here, I'm like, maybe I should try it again. No, Molly, like you've tried it probably, I don't even know how many times, probably 10, 15 times, and it just doesn't work. Every time I use it, my skin looks awful. It looks heavy, it looks crepey. It just doesn't look good on me. It just doesn't work for me. I am so excited to see what Urban Decay does in 2021 because I'm hoping they'll come out with like a more hydrating foundation, maybe. I don't know. I like matte foundations, but this one just isn't it for me. I want to jump back into another palette. This one I tried in the year 2020, and this one was a no for me again. It's from Physicians Formula. I saw this and I got so excited. I went out and purchased it. It is called their Rosé All Day palette, and when I saw this, I was like, yes, I'm getting Huda Beauty vibes. Like I'm getting she has the new nude palette, and this to me just like reminded me of that, and I was like, this is gonna be so pretty. I'm so excited. And then I used it and I wasn't so excited anymore because these shimmers in here are just they're not cute. Like, I don't know if you can tell from the just like swatch wise, but like they are just like so lackluster and just like barely there, again, chalky, and I don't think they look great on the eyes. There are some shadows that, yes, they're like sheer and you can kind of make them work if that's something you're into. They don't have to be like super foiled, but for me, they at least have to like stay on the eye and at least have to do something. Like, and the way they look in the pan, like this looks like they're gonna be like super foiled, super shimmery, and they're just not. They're like very barely there, like you can barely tell you even have them on your eyes. The mattes in here are okay, but again, they kind of blend away to nothing. Like you really have to pack them on, you really have to build them up. And this was something I was really excited about because again, it looked so pretty. I want to find like that drugstore palette that is just like, you know, me in a palette, and I thought that this was perfect because I love pink so much, but this one just, again, was a miss for me. I feel like Physician Formula does have a good formula when it comes to their eyeshadows. I like the butter formula that they have, so I kind of thought it'd be more like that. Okay, I have a skincare line up next, and this is from Lancome, and this was their Rose line. So they sent me a PR package with this entire collection. I have so many products that are part of this, and they're such a bummer because they just didn't work for me. I need to actually give them to someone that hopefully they can work for them. This broke me out really bad, like really, really bad. I used it once and I got like quite a lot of like texture on my face and on my sides of my face, and I was like, okay, like maybe it's just the scent of it because they're very, very heavily fragranced. I know it says rose, but like when you smell these products, like it's very, very fragranced. I have a few rose products like the Fresh Rose Toner that smells like rose, but it's not like overpowering. These are like a very heavy floral rose scent that feels very like artificial. And so there's a scrub. This one here is the jelly mask. There's also oh my gosh, there's so many things. There's a cleanser. I also have a moisturizer. There's a serum, like a whole entire line of products from this. And I just, every time I use it, it just freaks me out. I used it again 2 more times just to make sure, and each time I like got these little bumps on my face. So this was just a no for me. Sometimes I can do with fragrance, but then other times it's like, it just doesn't work for my skin. Next, I have a product I tried more towards the end of the year, but this just wasn't something that worked well for me. This is from KVD Vegan Beauty. It's their Shake Primer, and this seems really cool to me. It seems like something different. It's actually a liquid eyeshadow primer. So it literally looks like, as you can tell, liquid. You're supposed to shake it up and then use it to prime your lids for a shadow. And if you did end up watching my KVD Vegan Beauty, it's the Edge of Reality palette video, you will see that I used this in that video, and I hated the eyeshadow palette. I was like, this is not good. These shadows are not blending properly. Like the mattes in there were patchy. The shimmers in there were like not foiled. Like they were really just like lackluster, kind of chalky in there too. And then I used it without this primer, and I realized that the palette was fine. Like literally the mattes blended fine. The shimmers were fine. Like it was really just this primer. I used it again, and I had the same issue with my shadows not blending on top of it. So I don't know if it's the fact that it's like a liquid, and I just feel like I prefer something a little bit more matte to blend my shadows out on, or I don't know if it's the fact that it doesn't really have much color payoff to it as well. I prefer something that gives me a little bit of cancellation when it comes to like the wrinkles and also the hyperpigmentation I have on my eyes. I get like red veins and such, so I always want something to kind of cover that up, and I feel like this one doesn't obviously do that. But this one was just a no for me, very disappointing, and it's quite expensive too. Like for an eye primer, I was expecting to be wowed, and it wasn't very good. Okay, I have another foundation up next, and again, this is one that I see a lot of people loving, but I also know I have a lot of friends who also didn't like this one, and this is from Covergirl. It's their Clean Fresh Skin Milk. And this one I was disappointed with it for a couple different reasons. One, I liked the coverage on it. I liked the way it looked on my skin. But why I was disappointed with it is because it pills like really bad on my skin. I don't know what it is, but like, even let's see if I do it. It's not doing it in the swatch, but like I get all these little like balls on my skin, and the first time I tried it I was like, what the heck? Like I thought it was the primer I used, and then I tried the foundation again, and it happened again, and it happened again, and I was like, okay, this is just not good. I don't know if mine just came like spoiled or something. I just kind of think maybe like something happened with the PR, because I have, like I said, quite a few friends who like swear by this and love it, and I know they got it in PR as well, and I think maybe like something, I don't know, like different packages went out to different people, because I also have friends who this broke them out, who also have the pilling issue. So I don't know if the like product itself is like expired or something, but the coverage on it is really nice, and I really like the formula. I like how liquidy it is, but yeah, the fact that it just gave me all those little like pills, I was just like, I can't use this, because it really just messed up my entire makeup every time I use this. Okay, I have another eyeshadow palette for you that was a disappointment. This is from Buxom Cosmetics, and this is called their Extrovert palette. And I think I just decided in the year 2020 that Buxom's eyeshadows are just not my favorite. This is kind of similar to the Colourpop palette in a sense that the shadows kind of blended into nothing. Like the more I put them on my eyes, the more I blended, the more they kind of just like disappeared. I tried packing them on. You really had to pack them on, and then after like an hour they would also disappear. So I use this quite a few times. I don't know if it's just like pastel shades in general that I have a hard time with, but even like swatching that, like there's nothing there. Like you can barely see it. The yellow as well, I was like, oh, yellow, how fun, and I used this one, and it was kind of the same thing where I blended it out and it like turned into nothing. Also, the shimmers in here were not the best either. They look foiled and pretty, but like again, kind of chalky on the skin, and I just wasn't a fan of it. I don't know. I don't want to like write them off completely when it comes to their eyeshadows, because they could change the formula and come out with like an amazing palette. I hope that they do, because I really love the brand. I love so many of their cheek products. I love their lip products, but I just don't think they do eyeshadow palettes the best. Eyeshadows in general the best. So I'm hoping in 2021 they come out with a palette that kind of woes me, but I know this one wasn't that great. And also they had another one, I think it was called like Dolly's World, maybe something like that, and I didn't really love that one either. So I hope that Buxom can come out with like a more elevated formula, maybe, where the mattes are just a teens better and also the shimmers aren't so chalky. Okay, I didn't want to make this video super long. There was, I'm sure, a few more products I could have dug through and tried to find, but I really just wanted to keep it down to the products that I like really didn't like. And so I have two more up next, and the next one is from Milk Makeup, and this is their Flex. This is called the Flex Concealer. I'm not sure if this came out in 2020 or if this came out in 2019. But this is just not, it's not a cute concealer. I need coverage, and this is just like so thin on the skin that I'm like, how does, I just don't get the point. Like, it's so, like, once you blend this out, it is literally like nothing. First off, the shade is like super off. I have quite a few shades in it. But you have to put on so much of this to get any coverage. And also the applicator is like so tiny. Like, I'm gonna show you guys how tiny the applicator is on here. It's like so small that you literally have to sit there and like paint it on, paint it on, paint it on. And then by the time you like get enough coverage, you have so much concealer on your under eyes that you're like, okay, this is heavy. This doesn't feel good. I feel like with their Flex line, they try to like make it so it's like, you know, like you don't have to wear so much, and like it gives you, you know, that easy kind of weightless type of feel, but that's not really how this one is, because like I said, it is lighter coverage. But also, even if I sometimes like lighter coverage concealers, like they're not something that I need like full coverage every time, but this one just like gave me nothing that, like I said, I needed to wear so much of it that it didn't work out for me. So I was bummed about that one. But like I said, I'm not sure if that came out in 2020 or in 2019, but I have one last fail for you guys, and this one is from Pharmacy. Again, this is a product that so many people love. I was so sad to have this be a disappointing product for me, but this is called their Honeymoon Glow. It's the AHA Resurfacing Night Serum. This is a product that I have so many friends who adore this. They literally have went through the entire bottle. I know I see it on the bestsellers all the time at Sephora, but this for me just was so intense. I don't have like super sensitive skin. I know you mentioned like sometimes fragrances will break me out, or every once in a while like a mask that I use or something like turn me red. But like I really put my skin through quite a lot. I do a lot of skincare videos. I do a lot of trying new skincare, and like my skin doesn't normally freak out, but this serum, it like ate my skin. I literally had all up and down my face, I had like burns. Like this literally burned my skin. At first I was like, okay, maybe I used too much of it. Like I must have used it wrong. Maybe I did, you know, a mask too close to this or something. Like I was trying to figure out what did I do that like I shouldn't have done with this. But what happened was I used it, and like I said, I got all those little bumps, and it literally like hurt. Like I didn't put on makeup for days because it was painful. I physically burnt my skin. So then I used it. I waited a few weeks because I was like, I'm not trying this again until my skin is fully healed. It was fully healed. I waited. I actually knew I was going to use this, so I was very cautious of what I put in my skincare routine. I didn't like implement new products. I used just like my same cleanser, my same things, and then I used it again, and literally the same thing happened again. I got all of the little bumps, and they were like inflamed and hurting, and so this is just too intense for me. I know it works for some people. I've heard it gives them like incredibly smooth, glowy skin. It's amazing. But for me, this one is just way too intense, and my skin is like never again. So I'm going to go ahead and give this to my friend and let her try it, see if it works better for her, because for me, I never want to try that again because it was honestly so painful. So if you have sensitive skin, I would say steer away from that one, or try a patch test first. I sometimes do that. I don't know why I didn't do that with it, but definitely try a patch test first because that one is intense. But after that, that is going to do it for my disappointing products of 2020. Worst of the worst that I tried. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of these products that didn't work for me. I know a lot of times I talk about the products that I love, and I love sharing makeup that I enjoy, but every once in a while, it's good to throw in some products that also didn't work for me because I know these are also helpful. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for the best of 2020 video that will be coming at you very soon. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.